on Family Jury tonight.
Mr. Elvis Okere, I congratulate you. I congratulate you on taking advantage of your wife's confidence in you. Congratulations on getting your wife's younger sister pregnant. What excuse can you have? That your wife wakes up early and goes to work? Or that she comes back late? Or that she's not giving you enough attention as you need? Is that why you impregnated your wife's younger sister?
What mistake? The mistake of you abandoning your husband. The mistake of you giving 100% of your time to your job. The mistake of you leaving your husband all alone with your sister, which he complained about.
This is Family Jury.
Please read that to the hearing of everyone.
Case number 014/2010, which was filed on Monday, 29 December 2011. It's a case between Mr. Elvis Okere and Mrs. Zino Okere. Mrs. Zino Okere filed for a divorce because her husband, Mr. Elvis Okere, got her sister pregnant and has made arrangements for both of them to get married.
Where are the counsels in court?
My name is Barrister Miriam Yusuf, counsel to the petitioner.
Barrister Juliet Lulu Briggs, counsel to the petitioner.
Clerk, please can you bring the couple forward?
Mr. and Mrs. Okere.
Mrs. Zino Okere. You from Delta State?
Yes, my lord.
Isoko tribe.
Exactly, my lord.
Are you surprised?
Yes, my lord. I was wondering how you got to know my state and tribe.
Well, I had a childhood friend by that name Zino. She was an only daughter in a family of 8. Are you equally an only daughter?
Yes, I'm an only daughter.
But from your complaint, you said your husband got your sister pregnant.
She's not my direct sister. She's my cousin's sister.
I see. Zino is the name for a male or a female whose arrival has been awaited for too long in the family.
You are correct, my lord.
Well, that is by the way. For how long have you been married?
We've been married for 4 years.
4 years? That's a young marriage. Any kids already?
I have a son, and I'm 4 months pregnant.
So, apart from your husband's mistake, do you still love him?
My lord, I disagree with you when you said what Elvis did was a mistake. It was an intentional act.
All right. Do you still love your husband, apart from what happened?
I have always loved him.
That's not the answer to my question, Mrs. Okere.
My lord, I can't answer that question. We are not supposed to be talking about love here. The fact that Elvis got my sister pregnant is enough reason to show that the love that existed between us is dead.
Mrs. Okere, I have resolved more complicated cases than yours. So please calm down. I always tell couples who come here for advice that marriage is a sacred institution. and should be handled with utmost care. Your expectation at the end of the day should be to go home with your husband happily. I'm yet to see a marriage without challenges. Yes. So you don't have to break up with your husband. God has joined this together. Am I clear, Mrs. Okay?
This is Family Jury.
This is Zino Okere. I like your name. And you're beautiful.
Thank you.
I can see anger written all over your face. But I plead that you answer my questions, as some of these questions might be beneficial to you at the end of the day.
Can go ahead with your questions.
Thank you. You said you have a son and you're expecting another.
Yes.
Your husband impregnated your cousin's sister. You got upset, filed for divorce, even though you contributed to it.
What do you mean by that?
Calm down. I'm getting somewhere.
And where are you heading to?
Relax, madam. Could you please tell this honorable court what you do for a living?
I'm a banker.
And your husband?
He's a building contractor. He owns a company.
You're a banker. Your husband, a contractor. What does your sister do?
She's a student.
And she lives in the same apartment with you.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Well, I haven't said so. I just asked the question.
Yes, she was, and is still living with us.
What time do you close from work?
7:30 sometimes, and at times 8:30. It all depends on the workload for the day.
And what time do you leave home for work?
5 a.m. every morning. I leave very early because of traffic.
Which means you leave the house 5 a.m., close 8:30 p.m., probably get home, say 10:30, 11 p.m. Do you have time to cook?
My sister does the cooking sometimes.
Your sister does the cooking and probably serves your husband. Yes, I'm correct, because I can imagine you serving breakfast at 5 a.m. and dinner at 11 p.m.
Is that enough reason for my husband to impregnate my sister?
I haven't said so. Your son, do you find time for him? Because I know nursing mothers are not allowed to bring their babies to work.
My sister was the one taking care of my baby. That was why I asked her to go to school from the house.
Interesting. Your sister takes care of your home, your husband, and your baby.
Is it wrong for one to entrust her home in the hands of her own sister?
Mrs. Zino Okere, it is not wrong for one to entrust her home into the hands of her sister, but it is risky.
This is Family Jury.
Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Don't kill the future of our youths. Broken homes can cause broken future. Avoid divorce. Brought to you by
Family Jury.
Mr. Elvis Okere, I congratulate you. I congratulate you on taking advantage of your wife's confidence in you. Congratulations on getting your wife's younger sister pregnant. What excuse can you have? That your wife wakes up early and goes to work? Or that she comes back late? Or that she has not given you enough attention as you need? Is that why you impregnated your wife's younger sister and made secret moves to marry her?
I take all the blame for everything that has happened. But please, I never made any attempt to marry Rachel, and I would never do so.
What was your suggestion when your wife got knowledge of the pregnancy?
In the first place, I never denied the pregnancy. When my wife got to know about Rachel's pregnancy, I begged her, and I suggested we go to the girl's parents and let them know about it. It was just a suggestion.
Your wife got knowledge of the pregnancy, and all you could suggest was that you go to the girl's parents to do what?
Honestly, I was in a state of confusion.
you were in a state of confusion when you told Rachel that you were going to marry her. You were also in a state of confusion when you traveled all the way to Benin to see Rachel's elder brother. All this you did without your wife's consent.
I made those moves for safety reasons. By then, I needed to let her brother know about Rachel's pregnancy.
Without telling your wife?
My wife stopped associating with me the moment she got to know about Rachel's pregnancy.
What did you tell him?
I told him that his sister is pregnant for me and that she will have to remain part of my responsibility until she puts to bed.
What else did you tell him?
Nothing else.
You presented a drink to him and you promised him that you will go to the village to see his parents.
The drink I presented to him does not imply that I meant to marry Rachel. The fact that Rachel is carrying my child is enough good reason for me to present him drink. Even though I planned to go and see her parents to let them know about their daughter's pregnancy for me.
You made all these moves and suggestions without your wife knowing.
I didn't want her to be more provoked.
What provocation were you trying to avoid? Impregnating her sister was enough to have taken her to the highest level. Mr. Elvis Okere, are you planning to go and pay the bride price of Rachel?
No.
Rachel's brother visited you some time ago. Am I correct?
Yes.
What did he come to do?
He came to check on his sister.
What did he tell your wife?
He told her to forgive Rachel and that both of them should live in peace.
As a first and second wife?
He didn't say so.
There was a text message that transpired between you and Rachel's elder brother.
Rachel's brother has always sent me text messages, even before Rachel's pregnancy.
There was this particular text message in which he was demanding to know when you'll be coming to pay for Rachel's bride price. You replied, and in that reply, you promised that you were going to come on the 15th of the next month. You also said in that reply that you had rented an apartment for Rachel and some other things I can't remember.
I can't remember sending or receiving such text.
My lord, permit me to present to you the text messages that transpired between Mr. Elvis and Rachel's elder brother, in which they talked about the arrangement for the payment of Rachel's bride price. She transferred the message to the phone. Mr. Elvis phone. Yes, my lord.
Please mark that access. It's me.
There will be no more now.
Madam Zeno, it is beyond any doubt that what your husband did was wrong. But I'm just trying to give you reasons why you should let go of this whole issue and move on with your marriage.
Do you think it's easy?
It is easy if you really love your husband.
It won't be easy because I don't love him anymore.
Which means you are ready to allow your mistakes destroy your marriage.
What mistake?
The mistake of you abandoning your husband. The mistake of you giving 100% of your time to your job. The mistake of you leaving your husband all alone with your sister, which he complained about.
Would I have abandoned my job and babysit him?
No one is expecting you to do that. I mean, even your husband knows that your job is a time-consuming one. But a wise woman who truly knows the heart of her husband should have known when her husband suddenly became uncomfortable with her sister, especially the way she was dressing around the house, which he complained about. But what did you do? Now, what did you do? Of course you quarreled. You lamented. You accused your husband of scaring your relatives away from you.
Yes, he complained about the way my sister was walking around the house with transparent clothes. I cautioned her and she stopped.
How did you know she stopped? When you come home at 12 midnight? What was your reaction when your husband suggested your sister leave on campus?
Suggesting sending Rachel to campus. But just a gimmick to distance me from what was going on between them.
Oh, so you knew what was going on between them, yet you never acted fast. Oh, you knew what was going on between them, yet you continued with your careless attitude towards your home.
I can't remember being careless over my home. Rachel and Elvis took the advantage of my absence and the trust I have for them. The truth is that they agreed to have each other.
Does the word seduction make sense to you?
Who seduced who?
Is it not clear to you that your sister seduced your husband?
And he fell for it.
But he told you it all happened in a flash. He told you he was tipsy that night.
That was what he said, but I never believed him.
Have you ever known your husband to be a womanizer?
I thought he was not. That was why I left him with my sister. But Dad, he proved me wrong.
Mrs. Zeno Okere, I'll advise you to take whatever happened between your husband and your sister as a mistake. And forget about this whole issue. That's me all for now.
This is Family Jury.
Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Don't kill the future of our youths. Broken homes can cause broken future. Avoid divorce. Brought to you by
Family Jury.
My lord, why must a woman be blamed for the silly act of an untrustworthy husband? I do not think it's a mistake for a woman to leave the house with her dear sister in the company of her husband. Instead of feeling sorry for the abomination, you went ahead and made plans to pay the girl's bride price.
I never arranged for Rachel's bride price. I can't be so callous to do a thing like that.
So you were so callous enough to have gotten your wife's sister pregnant. Why can't you be so callous to also go ahead and fix a secret date for her traditional marriage without your wife's consent?
You can insult me for all I care, but I still maintain my point that Rachel's pregnancy was a mistake, and I never planned marrying her, and I will never do so.
Then how do you defend the text messages that pertained between you and Rachel's elder brother?
I never know where my wife got all those text messages. And besides, I won't deny receiving or sending messages with Rachel's brother. After all, my wife knew that both of us are best of friends.
You and Rachel's elder brother are good friends.
Yes, of course.
I smell betrayal here. Mr. Elvis Okere, how did Rachel come into your house?
Her brother pleaded with me to allow her to stay with us in our house and go to school, since she got admission to Unilag.
To go to school from the house?
Yes.
Did your wife know about this arrangement?
Sincerely, no. I thought it wasn't necessary telling her. After all, the young lady is just to stay for a while. And besides, she's my wife's sister.
How long have you known Rachel before she came to the house?
I have known Rachel before I married Zeno, my wife.
And her elder brother?
I met my wife through him.
So, you knew Rachel before you met Zeno, am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
My lord, I sense a foul play here. Mr. Elvis Okere and Rachel's elder brother are good friends. And according to his statement, he met his wife through his good friend. Both of them connived and sent Rachel into Mr. Elvis's matrimonial home. Rachel is there. He gets her pregnant. And they are both planning through text messages to go and pay the girl's bride price, just to push Mrs. Zeno Okere out of her matrimonial home. Mr. Elvis Okere, I put it to you that you have connived with Rachel's elder brother, your good friend, to push Mrs. Zeno Okere out of her matrimonial home.
I never connived with anybody to push my wife out of our home. The reason I allowed Rachel into my house is because of my wife. It is true that I did not tell my wife about Rachel coming to stay with us. And I had no bad intention bringing her in. My wife understood when I explained everything to her. And when I felt uncomfortable with her presence, I told my wife about my plan to send her away. But she pleaded on her behalf.
Mr. Elvis Okere, you are really a game planner. Did you tell your wife before you brought Rachel into the house?
No, I didn't.
So why did you demand her consent to send her away?
Because I did not want to make the first mistake I did.
You used your authority as the man of the house to bring in a total stranger into your matrimonial home. You did not think to use the same authority to send her away when she tried to seduce you. Mr. Elvis Okere, cut the pretenses and put a smile on your face as your wife has accepted to help you carry out your abominable plans. No more questions.
Next on Family Jury.
The deed has been done. I expect you to stand on your feet. Say you will never lose your husband to anybody, including your sister, no matter what happens.
Am I supposed to kill my sister? What am I supposed to do? Don't you get it?
No, I don't.
I just can't tell. Everything happened so fast. You're asking me these questions because you have not been drunk before.
You were not drunk, Mr. Elvis. According to your statement, you said you were tipsy.
I have said it before, that I was under the influence of alcohol.
My lord, I am not here to apportion blames, as this is a marital issue. And of course, our aim here is to get a husband and a wife together. But I would want Mrs. Zino Okere to know that she has contributed immensely to what is happening to her family. She dedicated 100% of her time to her job. She left the care of her home under the care of her sister. Mrs. Zino Okere, I'll advise you to quit this divorce application. Go home with your husband. Apologize for all the embarrassment you've caused him. And be a good wife.
This is Family Jury.
Emmanuel Frederick Production. Marriage is God's arrangement. Protect it. Do not destroy it.